Holidays in 1900s America were a time when magic coexisted with hard labor and elegance with chilling traditions. In this video, we will journey through the Belle Epoque calendar, from cozy Christmas evenings by candlelight to the explosive celebrations of Independence Day. You will see how, long before plastic decor and electric lights, people crafted festivities by hand, using only needles, paper, and real fruit. We will show you why Halloween back then looked like a scene from a horror movie, and how massive Easter hats turned streets into fashion runways. The video is sped up 2x, so you can witness the weeks of preparation behind every celebration. At the very end, the strangest holiday custom awaits, one that seems absolutely insane today. Christmas in 1900 was a festival of light, but that light was truly dangerous. The main decoration was a real fir tree, set up just a day before Christmas Eve. Forget electricity. Real wax candles were clipped to branches in small metal holders. It was a mesmerizing but lethal sight. Dry needles could ignite from the slightest draft, so a bucket of water or sand always stood nearby. Instead of glass baubles, the tree was adorned with edible gifts, gilded nuts, apples, homemade gingerbread, and popcorn chains strung by the whole family. The entire house was filled with the scent of pine resin, melting wax, and cinnamon. Children waited in awe for the few minutes the candles were lit, the fleeting, brilliant peak of the Christmas miracle. If the tree was the heart of the holiday, the Christmas dinner was its main battle. Preparation began weeks in advance. A housewife had to make a traditional plum pudding, steamed for hours and aged in a cool place. On the holiday, the kitchen turned into a scorching factory. The centerpiece was a massive roasted turkey or a ham glazed with honey and cloves. Vegetables, homemade bread, cranberry sauce, everything was made from scratch. The table was set with the finest linen, ironed for hours. A key tradition was Christmas crackers. Two people pulled a cardboard tube until it popped, revealing a paper crown, a joke, and a tiny toy. The evening was filled with the clinking of silver and endless toasts to prosperity in the new century.
At the turn of the century, Easter was not only a religious holiday, but also the premier fashion event of the year in the United States. Following the strict observance of Lent, city streets were transformed into blooming runways. The center of attention was the Easter parade, where every woman strove to outdo her neighbors with her bonnet. These headpieces were true architectural feats, enormous brims adorned with entire gardens of artificial flowers, silk ribbons, and even taxidermied exotic birds. Preparing for this outing took months, and the cost of a single hat could equal a family's monthly income. While children hunted for dyed eggs hidden in the garden, the core tradition remained the display of impeccable style and new clothing, symbolizing the renewal of life. It was a day when the rigidity of corsets was highlighted by the extravagance of spring decor, creating the perfect open-air image of the Belle Epoque.
Independence Day in the 1900s was the loudest and most dangerous day on the American calendar. It was a holiday without rules or safety regulations. The streets were filled with the smell of gunpowder and the deafening roar of firecrackers, which were sold on every corner, even to small children. Especially popular were the massive cannon crackers, powerful enough to blow a wooden crate to splinters. Cities were awash in red, white, and blue flags and banners. All day long, parades marched and brass bands played, while politicians delivered fiery speeches from grandstands. Families enjoyed picnics with lemonade and roasted corn, but the true finale was the nighttime fireworks. Back then, they were unpredictable. Rockets frequently veered into the crowds, sparking both delight and panic. It was the triumph of a young nation, expressed through smoke, fire, and a sincere pride in its country.
Forget about cute superhero costumes. Halloween in the 1900s was truly eerie. Back then, it wasn't a holiday for children, but for young people seeking their destiny. Costumes and masks were handmade from burlap, papier-mâché, and wax, looking like characters straight out of a nightmare. The central theme was divination. In darkened rooms, young women would eat apples before a mirror by the light of a single candle, hoping to catch a glimpse of their future husband's face in the reflection. Bobbing for apples was also popular, trying to grab a fruit from a basin of water using only your teeth, which turned into a wet and boisterous competition. The night was full of pranks. Teenagers would lift gates off their hinges, smear windows with soot, and terrify passers-by with lanterns made from real pumpkins carved with ghastly faces. It was a time when the veil between the world of the living and the spirits seemed thinner than ever.
Thanksgiving in the 1900s was the coziest of family holidays, a symbol of prosperity and gratitude. It was a day when the entire family, regardless of distance, gathered at the family home. The centerpiece, of course, was the dinner. The hostess would prepare a stuffed turkey using a recipe passed down through generations. Side dishes included mashed potatoes, cornbread, and the famous spiced pumpkin pie. But there was also a peculiar tradition, Ragamuffin Day. In large cities, children would dress in rags and smear their faces with dirt, going from door to door begging for coins or sweets, much like modern-day Halloween. It was a day of contrasts, sincere prayer at the table of a wealthy home, and boisterous celebrations by the poor in the streets. The air was thick with the aroma of roasted poultry and clothes, and hearts were filled with hope for a peaceful winter.
New Year's in the 1900s was not so much a family holiday as it was a social one. This was the era of the New Year's calling tradition in America. Gentlemen would don their finest top hats and tailcoats to pay visits to every lady of their acquaintance. The rules were strict. A visit was to last no more than 15 minutes, and hostesses competed in the sophistication of their light appetizers and punch. It was considered good form to visit up to 20 homes in a single day. It was also during this time that the clean slate tradition took root. People made New Year's resolutions and sent out mass quantities of calling cards wishing for prosperity. At midnight, cities erupted with the pealing of church bells and the blaring of steamship whistles in the harbors. People truly believed the dawn of the 20th century would be an era of endless progress and peace, and every sip of champagne was infused with this naive but beautiful hope for a grand future.
In the 1900s, Valentine's Day was devoid of modern commercialism, but filled with incredible elegance. Valentines of that era were true works of art. They were handmade from multiple layers of delicate paper lace, adorned with silk ribbons, dried flowers, and even tiny mirrors. Inside were poems full of lofty sentiments and secret confessions. Sending such a card was a bold move, as social mores were strict. But there was also a darker side, the so-called vinegar valentines. These were biting, caricatured cards sent to unwanted suitors or unpleasant neighbors to mock their flaws. On this day, mailmen worked to the point of exhaustion, delivering thousands of letters infused with the scent of perfume, carrying the secrets of the broken and mended hearts of early-century Americans.
The county fair was the event of the year for rural America. It was a celebration of harvest, machinery, and human spirit. Families prepared for it year-round. Farmers fattened up their prize bulls, while housewives prepared their secret jams and pies for the competitions. To win and receive the blue ribbon was a matter of immense honor. A 1900s fair was a chaos of lowing cattle, shouting barkers, and the smell of fried dough. Here, one could see the first amusement rides, early versions of the Ferris wheel or carousels with wooden horses. But the main passion was the races, whether horse racing or contests between farm teams. It was a place where people from the backwoods were introduced to the wonders of technology and fashion, forgetting their hard labor for one day for the sake of cotton candy, laughter, and pride in their achievements.
A wedding in the 1900s was the ultimate celebration in a woman's life, a transition into the world of strict domestic duties. Fashions were set by Queen Victoria. Brides wore high-collared, long-sleeved gowns with endless rows of buttons down the back. Preparation was grueling. The Gibson girl hairstyle took hours to construct, and corsets were laced to the limit for that perfect silhouette.
Receptions were held at home or in church halls, with a multi-tiered cake as the centerpiece. Traditions were rich in symbolism: something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. After the ceremony, the couple departed in a carriage, adorned with old shoes and tin cans, showered with grains of rice for good luck. It was a day of fragile beauty, captured in early black and white portraits where no one smiled due to the long camera exposures. Birthdays at the turn of the century were celebrated more modestly than today, but with their own quirks. The centerpiece was a homemade cake baked with hidden fortune trinkets. Finding a ring in your slice meant marriage, a coin meant wealth, and a thimble meant spinsterhood or bachelorhood. Children played simple, active games like pin the tail on the donkey or musical chairs. Instead of a pile of plastic toys, the birthday child received one meaningful gift: a porcelain doll, a set of tin soldiers, or their first real book. The party ended with a tea service, where even the little ones used adult teacups. It was a day when a child felt like the center of a small universe, and parents crafted magic with paper garlands and homemade hats, believing each year brought their child closer to a brilliant future in the new century.
Labor Day in the 1900s was not just a day off, but a massive demonstration of working-class power. It was a holiday of unions, a parade of pride and brotherhood. Thousands of workers, masons, printers, steelworkers, marched the streets in their Sunday best, carrying huge banners demanding 8 hours for work. After the parade, families headed to parks for giant picnics, where whole steers were roasted and barrels of lemonade consumed. Men competed in tests of strength. Tug-of-war and wood-chopping contests were mandatory. It was a rare day when factories went silent, and the heavy hum of machinery was replaced by laughter and the sound of harmonicas. Labor Day united America, reminding everyone that the nation's greatness was built by the hands of ordinary people who on this day could finally just breathe and enjoy the sun.
And finally, the strangest holiday custom of the 1900s that seems crazy today. Did you know that January 1st was an official open house day for everyone, including complete strangers? There was a custom called Calling Day. The mistress of the house sat in the parlor in full formal attire, and any passing gentleman could walk in, introduce himself, drink a glass of punch, and leave after 5 minutes. But that's not all. In some states, there was New Year's debt collection. Creditors could enter your home and literally seize furniture if you couldn't pay. But the spookiest were the Deadman's Parades in the South, where people dressed as skeletons and danced to scare death away for the coming year. 1900s holidays were beautiful, but they always reminded you, life is short, and every moment of joy was paid for with either labor or risk.